Hello and welcome to a special Olympics themed edition of the WebUser vodcast. I'm Daniel Booth, I'm Deputy Editor. With me is Ben Cam-Jones, he's our News Editor. Now, we bet most of your online Olympics viewing has been at the BBC site, which has been impressively revamped for the tournament in order to make it as slick and as sophisticated as possible. Ben, what have been the major improvements?
Well, you'll find that it's a much better layout for seeing which events are on at any one time. If you go to the BBC Sport homepage, you'll see a panel down the right-hand side where there are a few logos and a bit of text information that tells you exactly what's on at that moment. Just simply click on the link and you go straight through. But one of the more impressive things we thought is this new auto-update feature. Essentially, if you're just looking at text commentary, I mean, you know, most of us are in the office while the Olympics are going on. It's not very easy to watch video, you know, your boss might be looking over your shoulder, whatever. So you just want to get an update of what's going on. Live text update has been going on the BBC site for a long time. You know, if you're a cricket fan, you'll know all about them because you know they're very commonly used on that. But what they've got now is an auto update feature. This means that you don't have to keep hitting the F5 button or you know the refresh icon to keep up to date information coming up.
Fantastic. And have we got any indication of how many people are using the site at the moment? Have the BBC released any figures?
No figures at the moment, but I imagine it's very popular. Yeah, I think it's, you know, obviously the first Olympics where we've had this kind of amount of online coverage through the site and also on the red button on digital TV. So,
and I guess a lot of people are watching on-demand highlights rather than live coverage.
Yes,
because a lot of the events are taking place in the middle of the night, our time.
This is true.
So people, I guess, are coming to the office and then
the BBC is sort of catering for people with the, you know, highlights packages and that kind of thing, but also the iPlayer service is showing all the events for 7 days after they were first run. So
this is the first iPlayer Olympics.
Absolutely, yeah. So there are so many ways you can actually catch up with the action.
Absolutely, but it seems that Olympics fever hasn't completely infected every single sports fan in the country. A report today says that there have been more football-related searches recently than Olympics-related searches. Now, obviously the football season's almost upon us. Is this just pre-season anticipation?
Yes, it would seem so. The traffic levels actually for the football websites actually are at a higher level at the moment than they were at any stage last season. But to go back to a time when the levels were this high, it was pre-season 07 as well. So you know, it's obviously that the most amount of interest actually happens before the season starts, and so it's all about, you know, the players who are going to get transferred. In terms of searches, you know, the key search terms have been Cristiano Ronaldo, Dimitar Berbatov, who else? Gareth Barry, Robbie Keane, people like that who've sort of been at the centre of high-profile moves or not.
So it revolves around transfer speculation.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, interesting stuff. But despite this story, there's enough interest on the Olympics online for cyber criminals to take advantage of increased searching. There's been a rise in fake websites and phishing attacks. In fact, such a big rise that Microsoft has announced an unprecedented 11 patches to fix problems in its software. Ben, what particular problems will be fixed with these patches?
There are all sorts of problems, generally sort of within software programs, popular things like Internet Explorer. Obviously, you know, that's something that's often under attack by cyber criminals. Now, the Olympic link may seem a little tenuous, but let me put it this way. What's going on is, you know, it's such a big event, it's such a newsworthy event, there's a wealth of interest on it. And when something is this interesting, there are so many people on the web searching for it, that kind of thing. So cyber criminals have kind of figured out that there's this amount of interest, so they're using any kind of angle they can to pique people's interest into opening emails, visiting websites, that kind of thing, and trying out, you know, new tactics of spreading malware, and that could be called preying on vulnerabilities in software programs, that sort of thing.
And they've done this for events in the past, haven't they? World
Absolutely,
Cups, and, you know.
This is it. So you know, it's a common ploy by cyber criminals, but what they've done is they've actually discovered a few more flaws within some Microsoft products, and because of the increased levels of, you know, people actually trying to hack in and find these flaws, more have been discovered, therefore more need patching. So this is the biggest Patch Tuesday, as it's called, since February 2007, I believe, and there are 11 patches for some 26 vulnerabilities.
Wow, it's quite a lot.
It's a real biggie, so get onto the Windows Update site as soon as you can.
Cool, excellent. Well, thank you very much, Ben. So thanks for watching the WebUser Vodcast. If you can't get enough of the Olympics, then there are loads of Olympic-themed games on our website you can play. If you just go to webuser.co.uk/Olympics, you'll be able to play everything from hammer throwing to high diving. And also, the new issue of WebUser is out to buy now. We compared the best services from Microsoft and Google to see which come out on top. I'm sure there's a few surprises in there for you. So I'm Daniel Booth and this is Ben Cam Jones. Until next time, have a fun time online.